Hey, Five fans, Cage Minds, doing our recap from UFC 143, Diaz versus Condit. There was 11 fights. We'll tell you how our predictions did. First fight, Stephen Thompson versus Dan Stigen. We predicted a first-round TKO for the karate kickboxing phenom, Stephen Thompson. That prediction comes to fruition. He also gets Knockout of the Night award. Impressive debut for the Wonder Boy. Amazing head kick. Knocked out Stigen before he hit the ground. Second fight, Rafael Natal versus Michael Keipler. We had done in our prediction show and said that we thought Natal would win with a unanimous decision. At the last minute, I had seen some more videos, a few more things on Keipler, changed my decision to thinking that he would get the unanimous decision. Ended up having that to come back and bite me, as Natal does win with a unanimous decision. Was more physical, was able to achieve the takedowns. Even though he did get caught with one good shot, though, he did control the majority of the bout, used his jiu-jitsu over the judo of Keipler. Solid win for Rafael Natal, so that's 1-1 right now. Next fight, Matt Riddle versus Henry Martinez. We had predicted a unanimous decision victory for Matt Riddle. Martinez was now a week's notice, a short notice replacement. Normally fights at lightweight, now fighting at welterweight. Still held his own. We thought he was going to lose with the unanimous decision. Held his own, showed impressive striking, went to the decision. Riddle escapes with the split decision. Wasn't quite sure. I think a big burst in the second round. Towards the end, several punches helped accumulate towards him winning probably that round. Takedown and ground and pound secured the third round. A close split decision victory, though, for Matt Riddle, so we'll take that one. Next, Matt Brown versus Chris Cope. We had predicted a third round TKO for the longer, more technical, more brawling style of Matt Brown. Brown ends up getting a second round TKO, caught Chris Cope. Chris Cope is now knocked out in 2 consecutive bouts. Hard goings for him. Congratulations to Matt Brown. Next fight, Alex Caceres versus Edwin Figueroa. We thought it would go to a split decision, and it did, but not without some controversy. Alex Caceres has made sure that Edwin Figueroa will probably never have kids again, with 2 sharp, big, low kicks, an eventual 2-point deduction in the second round for Caceres that ends up costing him the fight. To the judges, I don't know how it was officially scored, I forgot right now, but Figueroa edging out the split decision. I thought it was bad. Even with the 2-point deduction, I thought it was 28-27 for Caceres. It seemed dominant, seemed impressive. Hopefully he doesn't get cut from this one. Edwin Figueroa did land one giant head kick that knocked Caceres out so much he forgot he was actually in the fight. So even though it was devastating, it didn't finish. And Caceres was very impressive. He was just fighting on cruise control with his wits not there. Very good grappling, had the back, was trying to finish the fight several times. Figueroa able to survive. I see that contest muttered in controversy, and we'd love to see a rematch of Alex Caceres and Edwin Figueroa. Next fight we're talking about, last of the prelims, was Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway. I thought that Poirier would win using takedowns, being a more well-rounded fighter than the primarily stand-up based Holloway. I had to go in a unanimous decision. That didn't happen. First round, after Poirier was starting to have some unsuccessfulness at the stand-up, took it to the ground, was able to catch a triangle armbar combination, submission of the night victory, and he did that from an inverted triangle position. Dustin Poirier, Eric Koch, they should fight. We need to get a new #1 contender for Jose Aldo. It'll be very exciting to see that. Poirier himself is also very happy to see that he keeps growing. He'd like to, I think, even keep trying to grow some more before he steps himself into a title shot. On to the main card. First fight, Ed Herman versus Clifford Starks. We thought that Ed Herman would just be a little more trickier when this would go to the ground, and he'd be able to slap a submission on in the first round, seeing as how Starks loved to use his takedowns, loved to use his wrestling background. They actually stood and exchanged. Starks landed some giant right hands, was able to hurt Ed Herman. Ed Herman, though, stayed resourceful in the second round, was able to get a trip from his back being against the cage, took it to the ground, was able to get the back, get the choke, a rear naked choke in the second round. Impressive. A third straight stoppage victory for Ed Short Fuse Herman. Looking very good coming back off of those knee injuries. Keep that momentum rolling. Now we go to a giant bantamweight battle that was Burrell versus Scotty Jorgensen. We thought that Burrell would win with a unanimous decision, using his leg kicks, using his better movement, using his striking ability, and having impeccable takedown defense. That's exactly what happened. I stand by the statement of saying that I see Burrell as a future bantamweight champion of the UFC by the end of this year. I think he will have that title. Now we move on to a welterweight war between Josh Koscheck and Mike Pierce. We had predicted a second-round TKO for Josh Koscheck. That didn't happen. This fight was ugly, gritty, and nasty, the way the wrestlers like it. And Josh Koscheck was able to walk away with a split decision, a close victory for him. And Mike Pierce, again, walks away with a bitter taste in his mouth, thinking, what could he have done? What could have happened? But Josh Koscheck still successful in that one. One of the favorite villains of the UFC fan base. To the co-main event now, Roy Nelson versus Fabricio Werdum. We thought that Roy Nelson would be able to use his control, land some big right hands. I had him winning a unanimous decision. I was wrong in this. The big right hand did land a few times. Not that effective. The clinch, the knees, the size, the power. Fabricio Werdum looked great in his return to the UFC. Is definitely a top 10 heavyweight and is in the mix for a title contention. Fight of the night award between the two of them, but basically this fight was lopsided. Werdum takes a unanimous decision. So we had the right decision, just the wrong direction. Fabricio Werdum, very impressive. Now we go to the main event. Carlos Condit, Nick Diaz, interim welterweight title on the line. Carlos Condit, we had predicted to win with a 4th round TKO. That's not how it happened. He got the unanimous decision victory. Nick Diaz, so distraught, is thinking and contemplating announcing the ring very reactionarily, harshly, quickly after the bout that he would retire. Carlos Condit used movement, outstruck 140 to 110 thanks to a CompuStrike application on Twitter that I saw the statistics from. Carlos Condit outstrike, used the movement, fought his game. I felt won rounds 1, 3, and 4, giving Diaz 2 and 5. Carlos Condit, our interim welterweight champion, he did what he set out to do this week, what I said he would do. He spoiled the prayers of GSP for the meeting with Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz is acting a little hurt. He needs to put his big boy Pampers on, pull them up, get back in the fight. They've already put out suggestions of possibly a Josh Koscheck, Nick Diaz. That sounds great. Nick Diaz, BJ Penn. That sounds great. Let's do UFC on Fox 7. Diaz versus GSP. No title on the line. Let's let GSP push the title aside and possibly fight Diaz first if this rivalry is so great. Let's not spoil the moment for Carlos Condit. Congratulations to the Natural Born Killer. You're the interim UFC welterweight champion. At some point you'll be defending that belt, and at some point you'll be fighting GSP. We predict. There could be a million different scenarios to change that. Those are the outcomes. I had a decent night, 8-3 on the night. I'll be regretting the change last minute from the Natal to Kuiper pick, but you win some, you lose some. This is Cage Minds. Uncage the warrior within yourself. Have a good night. Thanks for watching. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, like the video, leave us a comment, like it or not. Have a good night. Thanks for watching.